Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes. We are talking about, of course, Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, I think. Oh god, episode number, I think we're already on 37 now? Goodness. And if I'm wrong, the episode title will be right in the description, and the title right there. See it up there? So yeah, sorry that I've been kind of like haphazard with my upload schedule, which, what does that even mean? I mean, usually I upload every Friday, but, anyway. So today we're talking about DonBrothers. Another really good episode. Really kind of giving a lot more answers to the questions we've been having about overall lore with things, how things work, and things of that nature. And this is another on-the-go review, by the way, as you can see that I'm driving. But yeah, so a really good episode. A lot of focus with the characters in this one. Pretty much everybody gets like something to do, which I thought was really cool. So the primary thing has, of course, to do with the team is trying to kind of cheer up Tsuyoshi. They don't know yet that the whole situation with Natsume and Miho and the same, the Juto and all. Taro has kind of an idea, but he doesn't really fully get it, and he gets some answers too. So following from last week, if you remember, Tsubasa was captured. He went through the Hitotsuki into the realm where, or not the Hitotsuki, I'm sorry, the Juto, as they were trying to eat Sumononi, and went to the realm where their victims get taken, that they, copy or whatever. And so he found Miho there, and instantly gets kidnapped, taken by the vines, and then forcibly made into a Juto, right? So the Juto version of him is just running amok in the normal world right now. And it's funny because we get this montage of it constantly cornering people and forcing them to eat his food, because that's what Tsubasa likes to cook, because Miho taught him how to cook, so he likes to cook also. And so we get this really funny sequence of him, I think it's a restaurant, and he ends up kicking the shit out of the staff and pushing them back, and he ends up making a fuck ton of food, and he gives it, and all people are like, oh, I guess it's okay, wow, this is actually pretty tasty. He's actually decent at making it because it's Tsubasa's body pretty much, and so I like that idea that when someone when a Juto is created, creates a clone or whatever it is from a person, that if they have strong enough personality traits, those come through in the Juto clone or whatever. So that's really cool. It's a really funny sequence there, him going around being a jackass inside this restaurant, and the DonBrothers come through. The rest of the team is there eventually, and he actually ends up trying to give it to Taro, and Taro rates it really low that it doesn't taste good. And at one point he's chasing everybody, and he goes to look at Taro again to give him food, and he's like, oh, wait, you don't like it, because he goes to give it to him, and Taro's turns his mouth away. And so he keeps chasing people. We also get a little side plot where Haruka finds Miho / Natsume / Mihotsume Juto, I don't know, the Crane Juto lady, and follows her around and has a girls' day with her, and they get lunch together and go shopping. She sees that she's an actress, and that all fits into the whole thing of the Crane Jutos doing this whole thing where they create stories, right? And so they're doing that, and end up eventually getting confronted by the Naoto, who straight up call her a Juto, and to which Haruka goes, huh? A Juto? Where? And instantly when she said that, I was like, she's pretty much our Goku. You know how in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Goku's a fucking idiot? He's strong, but he's an absolute dumbass. A nice guy, but a dumbass. Things will happen directly in front of him, and he'll be like, huh? And just not understand it. I love that about Haruka, that she's very, I wouldn't say stupid, but just very naive that way. So she doesn't even really get it, but Natsume / Miho / Crane Juto fights off the Naoto for a little bit. And it seems as though Sononi is quite concerned that Tsubasa has been taken over by a Juto, so I might be right about her having a thing for him. But anyway, so that happens. We also get a really funny scene where the DonBrothers are finding the Hitotsuki that gets thrown in about 10 minutes in out of nowhere. And we also get, what's it called? He uses Golden Momotaro, Taro does, uses the form and then puts in the Zeo Eagle, red Zeoger gear, so we get that with the Zeoger suit, which looks really good. I love the Zeoger suits, honestly. So they're finding the Hitotsuki, and the Naoto come in and help out of nowhere, and Sonoza comes in and he's like, no, I will help, no harm shall befall you, DonBrothers. You're not our problem here. The Juto are, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, huh? And he pulls out this paper. It's a script that Sonoi gave him. and he says it wrong, and the camera pans back, and you see Sonoy watching. He's like, no, and he turns around on his back and like covers his mouth, and he's pissed that Sonoza is getting the words wrong. This show is so ridiculous and stupid sometimes. I love it. A little bit after this, though, Taro ends up meeting up with the Crane Juto again, asking her questions. He says, I have to understand this now. My teammate Tsuyoshi Kijino, his wife, are you really his wife? What's happening with Miho? What's going on? To which she responds, the Crane Juto responds with, she laughs, she's like, Miho is simply Natsume's dream. So I kind of took that to mean that maybe Miho was like, oh, crap. Sorry about that. Wow. That Miho is essentially maybe like the like fully realized version of Natsume, like what Natsume sees herself in the future being, you know what I mean? Which I think will make a lot of sense. That's kind of what they're going for with that. That at least the Crane Juto, maybe that's how they work with weaving stories. They find interesting humans, and then they kind of bring out like a version, they play out a version of their most idealized self to create their clone of that person, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting. Again, I really like it. I think it's really cool that she said that. Very sad for Tsuyoshi that Miho doesn't really exist, but it makes sense, because I mean, before like Natsume technically came before the whole Miho thing. We've never gotten any evidence that Miho was ever a real person at all. It's just a made-up thing by the Crane Juto to kind of play along and weave this story. So it's going to be pretty depressing for Tsuyoshi. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I'm hoping there's some way that they can separate things out and have the cloned Crane Juto version stay with him, and then that she can somehow still free original normal Natsume, so that Tsubasa can be with her still, and they just have cloned sister versions of each other as like their significant others. I don't know, but it adds a lot more like mystery to what's going on with this whole thing with the Juto. So eventually, the Juto Tsubasa ends up transforming as well, because he has all the stuff, right? He has the glasses and the gun and everything. And they try and do a roll call, right? So Momotaro does his roll call. Sorry, I gotta adjust this a little bit again if I can. Does his, Don Momotaro, and, Master, Mangaka no Master, Oni Sister. And Sour Brother does his. It gets to Inu Brother, and because he's a Juto who is just a beast that doesn't talk, he just goes, it's like dark and a bunch of like scratches and like goofy like black liquid and blood and shit. Stupid. And then Kiji Brother tries to do his, and he gets interrupted by Inu Brother / Juto Inu Brother. So they end up working together. They fight the Hitotsuoki, and they even form the mecha with this Juto Inu Brother. Like, why is he only talking in bark? He's not even speaking. They defeat the Hitotsuoki. The Juto Inu Brother is walking away and gets confronted by Tsubasa. Somehow he escaped. We don't know how. He just did. I don't know. Very Inoue. He fights himself, kicks his own ass, and lives to talk about it. So I wonder if like maybe the whole thing about like that we got the rule from the Crane Juto where like if they make a clone and that connection is ever severed, that they like one of them will die or both of them will die or whatever. So I wonder if that's different if the person that was made a clone of comes back and fights their own Juto. I wonder if that's maybe different because of that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see where we go with this lore-wise in terms of what this means for the show going forward. But yeah, he literally like holds his hand up and like force grabs the like glasses away from the guy, the Avataro glasses, and defeats his own Juto and completely disintegrates and goes away and everything. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. So only other bigger things that happened was we finally get some more with Jiro, where he was talking to Rumi, and that she's very proud of him being a hero. She saw him transform. She thinks it's so cool. She, still very supportive of him. He's starting to feel better after he had some of her food and whatever. Like he's recovering from being sick and whatever that was. I don't like how much they sidelined Jiro. We do get a pretty funny sequence where he keeps swapping between himself and Pharaoh Jiro because both want to taste the meal they're eating, and that was pretty funny. But hopefully he gets like more to do in the primary plot going forward. He had some good stuff at the start and a little bit like after that, but he's kind of been like randomly goofily sidelined here and there while other storylines are going on, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just starting to get a little tiresome. So I just want to see more of that, of what we're going to do with him story-wise. Are we going to get a power-up for him? Are we going to settle, like, combine the two of them into one personality? What are we really doing, So yeah, so next week is supposed to be a new Naoto getting introduced. We also see the Naoto, the brain persons, doing their own like roll call and like pose and everything, team pose, which okay. And we also see this new Naoto that to me kind of looks like what they should have used for Sonoi's like new form he got after having some of Don Momotaro's power in him. But it's a red Naoto. I can't remember his name. But yeah, he's essentially the fourth member and comes through to help them and fight the DonBrothers and everything. So overall, a really entertaining episode. We did get a lot of answers to things and some plot developments going forward. I'm still like not fully I don't totally understand what's going on with the Juto, Beast Persons, what we're doing with that. I'm assuming if it's anyway, it's going to be probably a sad end for one of them. I don't know. But overall, really entertaining. The only negative I really had was that Jiro's part was entertaining, but he's only recently been serving to be entertaining and funny rather than actually having a part of the plot that like is worthwhile, if that makes sense. I still like him and I want to see more from him. I like his forms, I like his mecha, all of that. But I just want to see more of him and him doing something. But anyway, let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this week's episode? Did you love it, hate it, in the middle, or what have you? Content this week is going to be this, along with the episode 10 for Geets review as well. So take a look, be on the lookout for that. I probably will do a bit of a catch-up review for Toku Toy View on some of the figure arts I've gotten recently. I got the figure arts Zen Kaiser, and also a few other ones I might want to do a little review and stuff on. But definitely check out, the reviews for that I'll be recording today. And I'm bring you guys a little closer here. And I'll probably do something on Black Sun eventually too. An overall kind of longer, long form video, kind of talking about the good things, the bad things, the in between, and how I felt about it overall. But thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing, for commenting. We're at just under 400 subscribers now, which is absolute insanity. I really enjoy the support. Definitely check out Henshins and Homies podcast. We've been having a really good time with that. We're about 11 episodes in already. Had some really awesome guests, a couple returning guests as well. Just last night we recorded with Brokusatsu again, talking about Black Sun and how we felt about that. If you want to watch the archive stream, you can find that on the Henshins and Homies podcast channel. If you want to hear it as a podcast, just audio, anywhere you can get a podcast, Spotify podcast, Google podcast, Apple podcast, anywhere, we're there. And if you guys have any ideas for videos for this channel or for Henshins and Homies for us to talk about topics there, or if you'd like to be a guest, doesn't have to be audio or doesn't have to be just like video. It can be like audio if you're not comfortable being on camera, don't have a good camera, whatever. It can just be audio. We had a voice actor on, Daryl J. Delphin, and he was straight through audio, and that was fine. It worked just as well. So, let me know if you guys have any comments below about that, some ideas for that, or just some general discussions. Definitely put them up there. I'd love to see it. The community interaction makes me very happy. But anyway, until next time, stay hooked on heroes. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.